Okay. She said not the blondes won. Not the blondes. All right, y'all. So we're gonna make this short and sweet. Okay. We're gonna keep it simple. We're not gonna keep y'all here too long. I'm just trying to see if they're gonna do something else, like have Kevin come out there and beat the brakes off of Cody while he in there and shit. You know what I'm saying? Cause they petty like that. They do shit like that. Kevin come in there and sweep him right off the damn edge and be like, well, that's enough of that shit. It's enough of that shit. Okay. So I'm not gonna watch that. Y'all can watch that. But we're gonna talk about it. So Crown Jewel kicked off with the very first match. We had Bloodline versus Bloodline. And originally everything was going a little smooth, but Jey Uso was still hesitant to tag in Roman Reigns for whatever reason. He didn't tag him in. The match got a little further down. He ended up tagging him in later once his brother was off the apron and he was the last choice. Roman got tagged in. That's when the match really started to pick up. Everybody was involved. They had Jacob on the side of the new bloodline, along with Tama and, of course, Solo. As the match progressed and we got towards the end, which I hope y'all can hear me. As the match progressed and we got towards the end of the show, of their match, things had got a little hectic. Okay, so the new bloodline ended up taking over and they were able to best the new bloodline. They got the W. The referee was knocked out. Jacob basically got in the ring and took out everybody that was in there. This gave Solo the opening to be able to pick up the pin. Roman was the one who ate the pin, which I thought was a very interesting move for them to do as for this, because usually Roman never is the one who eats the pin. It's always either Jimmy or Jay, and more than likely, given Jay Uso's being over the way he is, it's like you knew it was gonna be Jimmy, right? But it happened to be Roman who ate the pin. Took a double spike, Samoan spike to the throat, and then he lost the match. It was after the match that was the telltale of what really is happening. So they got attacked. Obviously, it was 4-on-3, and Roman was getting ready to get a triple power bomb. But Jay Uso was able to come in with the save. So as they were fighting Jay Uso, they was getting ready to take Jay Uso out, then go back after Roman. They had Jay with the chair on his neck, and then Sammy's music hit. Okay, Sammy comes down there, and everybody's excited. You know, the people of Saudi love Sammy to death. They all get in there, they get rid of the rest of the bloodline, and the only one that's left is Solo. Okay? So everybody's surrounding him, and you can see the setup. Roman and Sammy are across from each other. Jimmy and Jay are across from each other. So it really didn't matter who hit their move. Somebody was going to eat somebody's signature move. It just so happened that Sammy was smart enough to get his foot up, and he wasn't, because he was going to suffer that spear. Solo moved out of the way. With him moving, if he had enough, Sammy would have got speared. So Sammy put his foot up thinking he was going to haluva kick Solo, but he ended up kicking Roman in the face. Roman was down, he was out, and then of course Solo gets out and he's hilariously happy because he done caused more dissension in the group. The bloodline is at a very, very strong impasse. If they do not come to a common ground and at least get themselves together, they are going to implode before they even get the chance to take down Solo and them. Solo keeps using the fact that they have personal issues amongst themselves, and that's why it's been working for his group to be able to take them down. The story is developing. It's going to continue because Friday, I guarantee you, Solo is going to show up on SmackDown, as is Sammy and the rest of the brood, because this has to be worked out before we head into War Games, because that men's match is going to be a bloodline civil war. It just is. Okay? It just is. It's a Civil War Part 2. Okay? Because they already had a Civil War. They already had that. But anyways, That's what happened in the beginning of the match, because this was the first match of the night. Okay, first match of the night was the Bloodline match, which I thought was pretty smart. I'm gonna tell you what I think they did wrong in terms of booking. But Solo and Toe, they won the match. Shout out to TNT Sports for their graphics, because that's where I got these from, and I like theirs. And WWE doesn't put theirs up fast enough for me, so I like their graphics. So those are the ones y'all are gonna see from here on out. The next match of the night. What was the next match? Was it the women's tag team match? It was the women's tag team match, right?
I can't remember.
I'm gonna go with the women's tag team match because I feel like it was the women's tag team match. Okay, so the women's tag team match was really, really good. This was probably one of the best matches on the card because I can't remember who came up next. And I believe it was them, but I'm not sure. My brain is not working right now. But this match was very, very fun. Okay, there was a lot going on in this match. I ain't gonna lie, in the beginning, I wasn't feeling it. I kind of had an inkling that Jade and Bianca were going to retain, which I'm not mad about that at all. And I wouldn't have been mad if Lash and Jakara got it. But as the match progressed, it got to be more interesting and more exciting. So they started off, it was a fatal four-way. They explained the rules. Two members of a team, it could only be two people that are legal in the ring. Two members of a team will start off the match. Anybody can tag in. So that makes you hyper aware of every corner that you're in, especially when it's not your own, because anybody can tag in this match. And you have to leave if you get tagged. You have to leave. There was a lot going on. Okay, Jade and Bianca did exceptionally well, but they also didn't have an easy road to this win either. Piper and Chelsea did really good in this match. Io and Kyrie did great, but the superstars, MVPs of this match were Lash and Jakara. Dead as those two really showed why they belong there and why they should stay in either brand, whether it be SmackDown or Raw. In my humble opinion, if Triple H doesn't pull them up, he's a fool. He's a fool for leaving them in NXT because they don't belong down there. You need the space and the extra girls over on SmackDown for sure, because SmackDown was lacking in star power, and you have two of the best women of the NXT women's division. Right now, the NXT women's division don't need Lash and Jakara. Main roster needs Lash and Jakara. Let their asses go up. If you don't bring them up now, they need to be brought up in Royal Rumble. They need to be brought up, especially Lash Legend, especially Lash. Okay? But all in all, Bianca and Jay ended up picking up the win over Piper and Chelsea because there was a miscommunication at the end. Jade was legal. Piper got tagged in by Chelsea. They thought they had her. Piper got ready to do her move on Jay. Jay got Chelsea down, and she ended up doing the move on Chelsea instead of Jay. There was a tag to Bianca. They was able to get their move off on her, and Piper suffered the pin, and they was able to pick up the W. That was it. That was all. The two girls are now still the tag team champs, and we're gonna see where this goes going into Survivor Series. All right, where I'm going next? What was next? I want to say Bronson Reed and Seth was next. This match never really got started until the end. Like it was, they fought before they even started fighting. Before the match even started legally, they was out there fighting. Seth started it. No shade. Seth started it. Seth came down there before Bronson could even enter. Came out there, took Bronson, was taking the fight to Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed brought it right on back to him. They fought for a minute on the outskirts of the ring, and it got volatile out there. Okay. As soon as they got in the ring and the bell rung, it was even worse. No matter what Seth did, Bronson Reed would not stay his big ass down. Seth had to hit him with 3 curb stomps, one on the steel steps on the outside, one inside the ring, and another super curb stomp off the top rope turnbuckle. And even then, he stayed down long enough for Seth to pin him, but he ended up getting up with just blood draining from his face. Bronson Reed is a different breed of animal, but I know a good way you can keep that big motherfucker down. But they say legally I'm not allowed to say that. So I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. But I know a way you can keep his ass down permanently. I'm just saying. Shit. Right. I'm just saying. Now, here's where the order of this really weirded me out. So they put the women's match up in the middle of the show. It seemed like it was in the middle of the show. And this match was wonky as hell. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't a bad matchup between Liv and Nia. I think overall, everybody has an issue with Nia when she's when it's a severe mismatch in terms of the opponent is, physically, height wise, body wise, they're smaller than her. So it's always a problem. But Nia has gotten better with wrestling people who are not her height or even close to her weight. And this match wasn't that bad. The wonky part was how everything played out. Tiffany came down there and caused a lot of distraction, which, what the fuck? I didn't get it. I got the reasoning behind it, but I feel like all of that could have been avoided. Like, you could have just avoided all of that. It was unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? And then you had Dom and Raquel out there in Liv's corner, stopping Tiffany from cashing in. But not only that, using her briefcase to distract the ref so Raquel can get up there and miss the kick to her head. It was such a sloppy ending to this match, and it left a bad taste in my mouth. I wasn't a fan. I don't like it, but Liv Morgan won. Not you got a cousin. What? What's going on? So let me show y'all the last couple of. We got the tag team champs. They have retained their titles. Like I said, Solo won his match, and then Liv Morgan is the new women's champion. Now, the women's championship, when they win the championship, they do not get to keep these belts. Those belts are huge, by the way. The one Cody had on was his entire torso. It was his whole torso. That's how big that fucking belt was. It's huge. I didn't realize how big that belt is. It's a massive title. They don't get to keep the titles. They get rings. So I presume that on Monday they'll give Liv Morgan hers. They might do it on like WWE.com or some shit. If not, they'll probably present it to her live on TV or whatever. Then Cody will probably get his, so whatever. Like I said, it was weird times. Okay. They had a little moment where they was holding up the title. And like I said, Tiffany's ass came down there, and it just didn't hit the way it should have. Now, to further explain, since some of y'all wasn't here when I talked about Roman and them had their match. Roman and them lost their match. Roman ate the pin. Sammy came down to help to save Jey Uso because Jey Uso needed saving, if we being honest. But Roman ended up suffering a kick to the face. And in Sammy's defense, he was trying to help. He wasn't trying to attack Roman. That wasn't the case. Also, while Bronson Reed did suffer a loss to Seth freaking Rollins, in the end, the monster still was able to get up, blood streaming from his face, end up coherently ready to battle. And Seth was just like, "What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Like, what is you coming from? Who is you?" Like, that's how he was reacting to him. Like, I'm not taking my ass back in there. My back hurts. Okay. We done wrestled already. I'm as tired. Okay. Find something else for you to do, homie, because it ain't gonna be me. It's not gonna be me, bro. I'm tired. Okay. I done did enough today. I done flew my ass all the way over here to this hot ass country. I'm tired. I can't wear what I can't do what I want to do. I gotta do shit within reason. And you talking about you ready to fight again? Go home. Go home, Bronson Reed. We tired. We're tired. Okay. He said, I got a cousin or something to keep Bronson down, child. Somebody better do something. Hey, Jonelle, how you doing? Okay. So, Let me get the rest of these deleted so I can tell y'all about the rest of this show. There was only a few matches left on the card after this, and the last ones, who was Kevin and Randall. This match never, it did get started, but it almost didn't. In the beginning, Randall and Kevin was fighting. Kevin attacked Randy with a chair in the knee. They both was fighting each other. They was battling each other. This match actually never did get started. The bell never rang. They just fought. And they tried to break them up. Like, they sent out all of the refs and shit. They sent everybody out there. And Kevin attacked the referee. The match would never even got a chance to get started because Kevin just attacked the referee, stunnered him. He's taking out the producers and shit. It was messy. Adam and Nick both came down there trying to calm them down. And Adam suffered an RKO. And I'm be honest with you, babe. I love Adam. I think Adam is fine as hell. That man deserved that RKO because his ass be tripping. He be tripping. You curated this bullshit, okay?
Hello?
You curated this bullshit. And now this ain't your mess that you curated. This is Nick's mess, but your ass ended up suffering an RKO for it, and it was funny. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But is you okay? Oh, that's my dad. Anyway, so listen. Kevin and Randy fought all the way to the back. They went all the way to the scaffold. And as soon as Randy got laid on those tables, Kevin did his signature move on Randy and took him out. Randy did not move. Kevin got up and walked away.
Okay.
But Randall did not move.
Yeah.
Randy was out. Down for the count. No pun intended. He did not get up. He did not move. He got taken out. Now, I warned y'all that shit was going to happen. I low-key expected it to happen. And now Kevin going to have a new target. Because Cody is free. You have to remember, Cody is free now. He don't have no Gunther to worry about. He don't have nothing. Kevin is going to start gunning for Cody. Especially if Sammy shows up on SmackDown, joining with the Bloodline again. That's going to send Kevin over the edge. It's going to be like the last powder keg, last ignition. You ignorant. So, that's how that went down. Now, I thought that the show was almost over, and it wasn't. I was so confused at how they booked this show. Because after this, they decided to do LA Knight and Carmelo and Andrade. And I was like, why did y'all put the women before them? And I get it. I get we in Saudi or whatever the case may be. But no. This is a women's championship. Like, I was so disappointed. But anyways, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was not paying attention to this match as much as I should have, but I did get to see the end. Andrade and Carmelo both suffered a double BFT. And LA Knight was able to pick up the win. Okay? They both suffered a double BFT. It was a double BFT. It was real nice, too. It was nice, okay? So they was able to pick up the win. They was happy or whatever the case may be. But Andrade and Carmelo was mad at each other still, which I imagine Nick Aldis will revisit their matchup sometime on the main show, whatever works for them. But again, like I told y'all, that those of y'all that came late, Kevin Owens was laid out in this match. He got up. Randy stayed right there. He never got up out of this match. He was laid out just like this. He never moved from that spot. That's the way it was, and that's the way it's going to be, apparently. That's what I said. The triple threat would have been before. Right? I just felt like it was so oddly placed. I was like, what are you doing? What happened here? But anyways, let's get back to the finals. Final match of the night was the WWE champion versus the World Heavyweight champion for the Crown Jewel Championship. It was a hard fought battle. Cody was not able to just best Gunther, and nobody has been able to just best Gunther. He's a very hard person to beat. He always is the type of person that is just going to keep coming and coming and coming and coming. And no matter when you feel like you're tired and you're done, Gunther usually gets that second or third or fourth win, and he's ready to roll. He is a very hard opponent to keep down. So watching him and Cody battle it out was actually really, really fun. It was a very good matchup between the two of them. And ultimately, Cody was able to pick up the W and be your winner. Now you can see the two menzies was in there battling it out. Okay. And this, like I told y'all, that belt is fucking huge. It's a massive title. Okay. It is massive. All right. But ultimately, Cody was able to pick up the win and be your winner. Okay. He won the match fair and square. He was able to use Gunther's own momentum against him. He kept utilizing that headlock, trying to put him in that sleeper hold to get him laid out. But Cody was able to counter and get both his shoulders pinned to the mat. 1, 2, 3. Cody is your new inaugural Crown Jewel champion. Now, like I told y'all before, yes, they are the current Crown Jewel champions, but they cannot walk around with those Crown Jewel titles. The Crown Jewel titles belong to Saudi. So they will stay in the WWE experience on display for everybody to look at. Cody and Liv Morgan will receive the rings that will signify them as the overall champion. And that's how that will go. However you look at it or however it's done is how it's done. But that's how that will go. I'm curious by next year how that will play out. Is it gonna be whoever is champion at the moment, or do the current champions defend their titles? Because if it's not a defense, then it's just gonna be people racking up opportunities to be, the overall champ, which is fine. It's kind of like being at Survivor Series and you're the sole survivor. They don't just have the sole survivor defend their sole survivorship at Survivor Series. So it's fine if that's how they want to do it. I'm just curious as to what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. With all that being said, ladies and gents, Crown Jewel is in the bag and we are done with Crown Jewel. No more conversations about Crown Jewel and what will happen leading into Survivor Series, because War Games is on the horizon, ladies and gentlemen, and it is time. Now, if you haven't listened to my videos that I posted for my members sometime last week, and I just opened up last night for the rest of the subscribers, then you should really go listen to them. The Bloodline storyline and, of course, Liv and Rhea storyline have been detailed. And the reason why I did that is because both of those storylines are what are headed into War Games. After all of the events that have happened in the past week or so, Rhea Ripley being her face literally being broken and having to go to the hospital. Obviously, this is going to lead to some volatile times. Now, the only thing is the teams have to be built for the women. The men's teams are already set. The only thing with the men is that the trust has to be rebuilt between the Bloodline members, both current and new. And of course, Solo's going to keep playing on the fact that Sammy defaulted from the Bloodline, as did Jey Uso, and so did Jimmy. That's going to be a point of contention that they're going to have to get over. But when it comes to Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley and building their teams, I think it's going to be easier said than done. And I believe that the teams have already been built. They've already been shown to us. Depends on how they set this up. Because over the last couple of weeks, things have been shifting. Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax's relationship has been waning a bit. The two women have not been on the same page. So this could lead to a fracture between the two of them, and Tiffany Stratton could end up joining Rhea Ripley's side. Or you could have Nia Jax on Rhea Ripley's side, and you could have Tiffany joining Liv's side. Who knows? All I know is that at some point, some iteration or form of teams that I've mentioned in those previous videos is going to come to fruition. These are the only women who have been publicly shown together and on television. And they are the only women who currently have, I'll eat something later, that currently have a storyline together that would actually work within War Games. If you want to know who those women are, you got to go over to my page and listen to the last two videos that were uploaded. All right. He said, now that the booking makes sense, I'm not too upset about Crown Jewels. See, everybody has their moments. Interesting. It is interesting. They could change, they could shift this, which I low key wish they would, so we can have some points of contention on the teams, so we really don't know who's gonna win and who's gonna be loyal to whom. Like, you really want this to be a fun experience. The women's match is always great. I never really have a problem with the women's match. Sometimes the leading up to the women's match is a little interesting, but they usually pull it off in the end. The men's match, however, sometimes it's just a little bit too emotional. He knows he's coming. There's too much shit going on in the men's match, and they don't really give it time to fully develop and get to where it needs to be. And you kind of have an idea of how it's going to play out. I love Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns is a minimal style worker, whereas in the women's match, everybody is working and doing something. And I hope Roman really rolls up his sleeves, digs down, and does something great in this match, because the War Games matches are usually awesome if everybody fully participates the way that they should. So I'm going to get out of here because I have been talking y'all ear off for almost 30 minutes. Crown Jewel was an excellent show. There is one thing that I want y'all to understand when it comes to Crown Jewel. Crown Jewel usually is not booked for us, but they have been using it to further storylines that happen for us in the States and, of course, all across the world. Sometimes y'all getting y'all feelings about things, especially when it comes to the Saudi government and to the Saudi people. But to be fair, the very same judgment is passed off on us as Americans and in our country and with our government. And I believe that that's unfair because we don't always control what our government does and how they operate. No matter what they say, yes, the power is in the people's hands. But after we vote, they pretty much do whatever they deem is best. They don't listen to us like we think they do. The very same thing is happening in Saudi, but they're under a completely different regime. That is like a totalitarian dictatorship. They don't have control in their country in any shape or form to elect anybody. So before you pass judgment off on the Saudi people, we as Americans have to look in the mirror, is all I'm trying to tell you. Let them people have their time. They have earned the right to be able to have that WWE experience and to have the only two shows that show up over there, Crown Jewel and whatever show they decide to give them earlier in the year. We get to see WWE and experience WWE 365 days out the year if we want to. They don't have that luxury or option. So just relax on Crown Jewel. Let them people enjoy their show. This is their Super Bowl Mania and SummerSlam. This is all that they get in terms of live events. So let them have their moment. And if you want to watch the show, watch it. If you don't, that is totally up to you. I'm just saying, maybe we shouldn't be on that high horse. You feel what I'm saying? That's all I'm telling y'all. But to get back to War Games, War Games is coming up. It's going to be in Vancouver, British Columbia, and it's going to be on November 30th. That is at the end of the month, and I believe the 30th is a Saturday. It definitely is. The 30th is a Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, okay? So I hope you guys are prepared because the storylines are shaping up. Now, when it comes to the main event for Survivor Series, that's shaping up. I suspect that Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes will battle it out at Survivor Series because Randy's probably going to be gone for a little while, seeing as how Kevin just took him out. And Kevin's got to have a new opponent. He's got to have a new direction for his anger and frustration. And it's more than likely going to be Cody Rhodes. And I know that Cody's probably going to end up calling him out at SmackDown, or Kevin's going to come out there and call him out. Either way, those two are going to be ended up crossing paths very soon. Also, there needs to be a new opponent for Gunther, which they've decided that they're going to have a tournament on Monday, and it's going to include Sheamus, Seth, and who is the other two? Sheamus, Seth. Who else is going to be in that match? Anybody remember? Number one contenders match. I do not remember. Dominic Mysterio and Damian Priest. I'm sorry, y'all. I couldn't remember their names. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I'm gonna read these comments. Don says, because like for the women's matches, war games be like the end game, right? It be the end of it all. It doesn't continue after that. So that I think that's one of the reasons why the men's war games match doesn't work for everybody. But for the men's, it's like a footnote. Yes. Yes. I think that's one of the reasons why people just don't they don't but then too, again, I still say that Roman doesn't really roll up his sleeves and get down and dirty in the War Games match. It's a War Games match. You should want to get into the nitty gritty. You should want to utilize everything that's in there. I understand it. Roman, like, shit, I done did all my workhorse shit. I'm not finna be out here getting my ass whooped by chairs. I understand it, but you could be dealing a lot more damage than you're doing. Like, you barely want to get in the ring when it comes to war games. You know what I'm saying? Like, just go. All that I ask is that if you're gonna be in a war games match, then utilize war games for what it is. Don't utilize war games for something else. Because I feel like a lot of times I'm about to go. Okay, this damn thing is cutting up. I knew it was gonna cut up. Okay, I will come back Monday, and we will talk all about everything. Monday Night Raw. We gonna talk about where everything could have changed in terms of the Survivor Series match and what it's building to. We'll talk about all of that. I will come back on Monday and we'll chit chat. Y'all have a good night. Hope you enjoyed Saudi Crown Jewel because it was actually a really good show. If you haven't watched it, if you have Peacock and it gets to the replay, watch it on the replay. It's worth the replay. All right, now I'm really gone.
If you don't wanna see me, if you don't wanna see me, did a full 180, crazy, thinking about the way I once did. The heartbreak change me, maybe, but look at where I ended up. I'm okay already, so moved on, it's scary. I'm not where you